Ahead on KREM 2 News, most people in Spokane's municipal court can't afford a lawyer. Now, cases could be delayed or even dismissed. Why the system is strained, coming up.
Plus, I'm tracking your weekend forecast where we are seeing sunshine and a warming trend ahead.
Plus, this morning, high schoolers could get prom attire all for free.
The only thing that they are not going to be doing is paying for their dresses.
A very cool story right there. We talk with the group behind the glam. Good morning and thank you for starting your day here with us on Up with KREM. I'm Brandon T. Jones. Over in the Weather Center, we've got Jenny Power keeping us up to date with all of the latest weather conditions. First and foremost, though, Jenny, how are you doing? And then what can we expect this weekend?
Oh, Brandon, happy to be here. And really what we're seeing is Mother Nature giving us kind of a Easter weekend gift, if you will, something fun for our Easter basket because the weather conditions are so nice. We've got high pressure building for the inland northwest. And so we're seeing even more widespread sunshine for the day today and some slightly warmer temperatures. So get outside and enjoy it. We're going to be sitting great and we see our temperatures climb even above average through Sunday. Mostly sunny. Temperatures are even going to be warmer there in the mid 60s. As we take a look at your daytime highs today, we're trending in the upper 50s for Spokane, low 60s for Coeur d'Alene, looking at 69 degrees this afternoon for Moses Lake and some mid 70s for Richland south to the Tri-Cities. So the emphasis is getting on outside and enjoying this. Moving forward, yes, we're hanging on to a much clearer trend in comparison to what we saw yesterday. So the skies are producing some widespread sunshine for the region. And as we take a look, yes, at your Easter forecast here, we are going to be seeing some partly cloudy skies, but temperatures that will climb to the mid 60s. So perfect to get out with the kids and maybe do one of those egg hunts or find the Easter bunny. How long this warming trend will last, though, that's what I'm talking about in my extended forecast.
All right, we'll talk soon, Jenny. But right now, Spokane City Municipal Court, they have got a record amount of cases and not enough public defenders to go around. It's because the state recently reduced the number of cases public defenders can take on. Now, the city's falling behind. Municipal court officials say more than 90% of people in the court can't afford an attorney and need a public defender. But without enough public defenders available, some cases could be delayed or even dismissed. Now, city staff are trying to catch up. They're adding law student interns, proposing funding for another public defender, and reviewing cases before they're filed to reduce the workload.
We're looking at, theoretically tripling the number of attorneys that we have in the office by the end of 10 years.
So the city says they're still working on ways to keep cases moving, even with the state's new limits. Well, there's a new 12% tax increase for parking in certain areas, and now some businesses in downtown Spokane say it's misleading. The municipal code says employees, students, residential, and on-street parking are exempt from the tax, but one business owner says her parking bill went up more than $30. When she asked Diamond Parking about the employee exemption, they told her to ask the city, and then when she asked the city, they told her to ask Diamond Parking.
I've interviewed potential employees, and it basically on one of them came down to whether or not she wanted childcare or to pay a $200 a month parking pass. And for her, she's like, I think I'll just take my chances with where I'm at and not pay the parking and end up paying for things that she needs for her kids.
Well, the city of Spokane said an employee is exempt from the parking tax when they have a designated stall or park in an area that is reserved for employees. The expectation is that parking operators need to create designated exempt areas for monthly pass holders like employees, students, or building residents. But the city says Diamond Parking does not offer those designated stalls for employees. Well, elsewhere, Governor Bob Ferguson says next Friday, all Washington state agencies will fly flags at half staff. This is to honor one of the U.S. Air Force members killed in the KC-135 refueling plane crash that happened in Iraq. 31-year-old Captain Ariana Savino from Washington, Covington that is. She was one of the 6 airmen who died in the crash on March 12th. Flags will be lowered next Friday, April 10th. This is the first weekend that you can tee off at Circling Raven Golf Club. You might remember Golf Week ranked it Idaho's #1 public course. We have the information right now on how to book a tea time. You can find that over on our website, KREM.com. And a Spokane vintage ice cream shop, Doyle's Ice Cream Parlor, is now open just in time for the week of spring break. The shop operates seasonally and closed for the winter last season. Doyle's features Spokane's last working vintage soda fountain in the city. The ice cream parlor is located on Boone Avenue in Spokane's West Central neighborhood. All right, check this one out right here. Prom season is just right around the corner, and one local nonprofit, they're making sure students have formal wear for the night. It's called the Prom Closet. Today from noon to 6 p.m., students can head on over to the Northtown Mall right next to the Mustard Seed and go shopping for free formal wear.
So Prom Closet is an opportunity for kids to come and shop dresses for free instead of having to spend an arm and a leg to go shopping and make prom such an expensive event. They will get full service, whether it's like shopping and trying on their dresses. If there are minor alterations, we will have fitters over there who will be doing alteration fittings or taking in alterations appointment. The only thing that they are not going to be doing is paying for their dresses.
That's really cool right there. That can make a world of a difference. And the Prom Closet says they are still looking for volunteers to help out with all of this, helping students shop, keep the racks organized, do simple alteration, and steam garments as well. We do have more weekend events we want to tell you about coming up in our next half hour, but also coming up, a North Idaho teenager. She earned a perfect score at a national karate competition. How she did it, plus a look at her undefeated routine. And later, turns out tsunamis aren't just a problem for coastal communities. We'll tell you all about the science behind big waves at an inland Northwest lake.
Well, hey, good morning. We have a very special guest in studio with us this morning. We have Mike and Alana with us with the Universal Kenpo Kung Fu Association. Did I say it right?
You did.
A+. All right. So good to be here with both of you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we brought you in because you're not just any old martial arts group. You guys have accomplished quite a bit. Tell us a little bit about your story, Alana. Let's jump in first. How did you get into this?
So in 2020, he was my neighbor. And so we were stuck in the house and he hasn't taught in a while and he decided to do just self-defense classes. Okay. And so my dad brought me over, and I was 10 at this time, to his house and asked if I could join. And for the first 2 years that I've trained, it was strictly street fighting. It was,
wow.
Yeah, it was just to protect
myself. Don't mess with Alana.
Yeah, it was just to protect myself. And so later on, we got into competition karate, and so I've been doing that for 4 years. So I've trained for a total of 6 years now, and so from there, I've won multiple titles in our bigger tournaments, and we go to our little ones. They're mainly for practice, but just to get used to the different type of competition.
Alana was a really gifted prodigy. So as I was teaching her those first 2 years, I'm like, man, she's really good. Oh, we should go to competition.
Yeah.
And I talked to her dad and the family and said, if we start this, it's like travel ball.
Yes.
Right? It's a serious commitment. And so her family said, well, let's try it. Let's go to competition. And so we went up to Tacoma, Washington.
Okay.
And she won every single division she entered. And so then when I took her to the next tournament, and she won every division that she was in. She's been featured multiple times in CDA press, and so we just kept going tournament to tournament to tournament. What happened recently is we went to a very large tournament in California. It's called Compete. They have over 1,000 competitors in that tournament. And what's very unusual is to receive a perfect score.
Whoa.
And a perfect score at a tournament is 99, 99, 99. We pride ourselves on our self-defense routine. And so she did the self-defense, and she scored a perfect score.
Don't mess with Alana. Come on. How did you do that? How did you prepare for that, Alana?
Lots and lots and lots of practice.
Yes.
But we had multiple competitors, and I had 4 different divisions at one time. So I was just bouncing back and forth from divisions. And so I just had to go there. I had to do the best I could at that moment and then hop to my next one.
How do you prepare and how do you get in the right mental state to be able to earn a perfect score? That's no joke. I mean, seriously, that's incredible.
Yeah, so I have issues sometimes focusing.
Okay.
So I really just have to be by myself sometimes and focus and go through it in my head so I know what moves I'm doing and when. And it really helps for the attackers to talk with them also so everybody is on the same page.
We have an affirmation. Before the kids train, they repeat a lot of affirmations, right? Because half of it's, physical training, but the other half is mental training. Right?
Sure.
And so one of the affirmations is amateurs practice until they get it right. Professionals practice until they can't get it wrong.
Okay.
And that's one of our core philosophies.
That's a good one. Mike, you called Alana a prodigy. What do you think, what are the traits that she has that makes her so successful in this?
I have trained literally thousands of people, many, many, many law enforcement officers. What makes her stand out, I think, is that when you show her a technique, she has a kinesthetic memory. Most of us, including me, you have to show me something 8 or 10 times before I get it right.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm the same way, yeah.
Yeah. But with Alana, she has this special gift where you show her something once and she can repeat it. And so that's very unusual.
Yeah. That was incredible. All right, follow along. Be sure to find them on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. This was incredible.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And coming up in your weather forecast, I'm tracking some widespread sunshine and a warming trend here through Easter Sunday.
Well, the Pacific Northwest is no stranger to the threat of tsunamis, but it's not just coastal communities at risk. As Cody Proctor with our Environment Northwest team found out, an inland Northwest lake is also a hotspot.
Tsunamis. These terrifying and destructive acts of nature help shape the Pacific Northwest. Across the Cascades away from the coastline, we should be safe here in the inland Northwest, right?
This was dead as the day a few minutes ago.
Wrong.
Tsunamis can occur anywhere within our state, not just where people think they are on the coastline or within Puget Sound, but also in eastern Washington.
Specifically, Lake Roosevelt, a popular recreation spot in northeast Washington. It dates back to when the Grand Coulee Dam caged the Columbia River. Now this man-made reservoir stretches to the Canadian border. The largest waves on a recent Sunday came from the wind. But on November 17th, 2024, the land broke away twice at Reed Terrace near Kettle Falls. The two landslides triggered 2 tsunamis.
That was crazy. I've never seen a river change directions.
The event caught the attention of experts like Washington DNR's Alex Dolce-Moscolo, a tsunami geologist. Most of his work keeps him close to the ocean.
Our greatest hazard and risk is out on the Pacific Ocean with the Cascadia subduction zone, but most commonly in our state, landslide hazards are actually the most common, especially in eastern Washington, such as Lake Roosevelt.
And the lake has a history. According to DNR, there have been 19 documented landslides around Reed Terrace since 1894. As for the wider scope of the Lake Roosevelt National Recreation Area, there have been multiple tsunamis after the dam was built.
The whole side of the mountain's just falling down.
One of them happened in August of 2009, when a landslide in Porcupine Bay triggered a small tsunami hitting the beach of a popular campground. It left facilities damaged and injured 2 children.
There's a kid under that dock.
The next one will be further north, 15 years later. Dolce-Moscolo and his small team of geologists made the trip to Kettle Falls shortly after the slides.
Because it's really important to get out there soon after the event before some of that data can get washed away.
Their investigation turned up evidence such as debris and scoured earth, all signs of a tsunami. They determined the tsunamis impacted 2 to 3 miles from where the slope failed. The wave itself, about 11 to 14 feet tall.
And not 30 feet tall like was initially claimed.
They also found signs water ran all the way up to State Route 25 on the river's east side, which means a run-up of about 47 feet at its highest. One of the places impacted by the tsunami is right here in the Colville Flats. This is directly across the river from where the landslides took place. And according to the investigation, it's estimated that the tsunami inundation reached as far from the shoreline of Colville Flats about 800 to 900 feet. Dolce Moscolo says the cause of other tsunamis on the lake were due to rapid changes in the water levels because of the dam downriver. But not this time.
This event occurred when the dam was not being filled or drained. We can't say for certain what caused the event, but we kind of think that there are some interesting things going on with the hydrogeology of the area.
To figure that out will likely take more study and research. For now, Dolce Moscolo wants people enjoying the lake to remember it can and will likely happen again.
Luckily, this event was in the end of November, so there wasn't too many people out there. But if it were to happen in the summertime, it could have been a lot worse.
For Environment Northwest, I'm Cody Proctor.
Thanks so much for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Jenny Power, and it's time to take a look at your weather forecast and what we're seeing across the inland Northwest. And the good news is that we're trending great if you want to get outside. We'll see mostly sunny skies, mild winds to go along with this, and the start here of some above average temperatures. That's especially what we're seeing come tomorrow. As we take a look region-wide and what we're preparing to see, we're trending in the upper 50s for Spokane today, but we climb to the mid 60s tomorrow. So for your setup, today it is mostly sunny, even a little bit clearer in comparison to what we saw yesterday. Mild winds here to go along with this. And our Sunday, yes, we are going to be seeing a good amount of sunshine, a few more clouds here and there, but in general, great to get outside. As far as our daytime highs today go across the region, 62 is where we're at for Coeur d'Alene. We are trending at 69 for Moses Lake, 67 degrees for Wenatchee, 74 though south to Richland and the Tri-Cities, and we've even got some low 70s through the Yakima Valley and into Walla Walla. As we take a look at your future tracker, we continue to see these mostly clear conditions as we move forward through this evening, overnight tonight, and then we're seeing some partly cloudy skies into tomorrow. So yes, we are going to see a few more clouds develop for our Sunday, but still things are going to be nice to be outside. Our winds as well are going to be relatively mild and calm through that extended forecast, remaining light through our Sunday with just light winds coming out of the northeast for the inland Northwest. As we take a look at your overnight lows, we're falling here into the mid to upper 30s. So we are trending cooler, just something to be aware of there. And as we take a look here at what's to come for tomorrow and your egg hunt forecast, we are going to be seeing temperatures jump up into the mid 60s with those partly sunny skies. So good news if you maybe have any Easter services you want to attend, Easter brunch plans, or you're just trying to get outside with the kids to find some eggs. As we take a look at what's to come over the course of the next few days, temperatures will even climb for us through Monday with daytime highs well above average in the upper 60s for Spokane, and some areas will even reach the low 70s.
What could be worse than having a child who needs medical care that you can't get?
Well, doctors worrying about what could happen if the Supreme Court ends birthright citizenship. That story in just a few minutes. Well, right now, the Supreme Court is debating the limits of birthright citizenship. Doctors say what they decide could impact not just immigration policy, but also the delivery room. From Seattle, Sharon Yu explains what this could mean for health coverage of babies.
The moment a baby is born, a clock starts ticking. Dr. Philip Riley at Seymour Community Health Clinic is familiar.
I've delivered hundreds of babies.
Riley says hospitals immediately begin paperwork for a birth certificate, a social security number, and for many families, enrollment in Medicaid or Apple Health in Washington.
That paperwork starts. They don't get a social security number then, but they start the process.
But as the Supreme Court considers birthright citizenship, doctors like Riley say those automatic steps could become more complicated, especially if parents fear for their own immigration status.
If you're scared that I'm going to wind up in a bad situation, abandoning my infant, then maybe I should just leave my infant as an unregistered person.
Seymour's Vice President Michael Leung fears the worst, that babies born without U.S. citizenship could face barriers to crucial care.
They would not be eligible for Medicaid, and It's important that the children get the care that they need.
Specifically at CMAR, nearly 9 in 10 children, about 88% of their patients 0 to 17 years old, receive Medicaid coverage. National statistics show Medicaid covered over 40% of all U.S. births.
What could be worse than having a child who needs medical care that you can't get? So we struggle with that for adults who don't have citizenship. And so if that happened to infants, it would just be devastating.
While CMAR and other community health clinics in Washington provide care regardless of immigration status or health care coverage, Leong says repealing birthright citizenship would cascade into more need.
That would be an additional challenge. It would be an increased financial burden for us.
The nation's highest court isn't expected to issue a ruling on this until late summer.
Coming up, between rising gas prices and tariffs, Washington farmers are feeling the pressure. One man worries the family legacy could end with him.
It's hard to make things work.
Ahead on KREM 2 News, Washington State is dead last for farm profitability, the triple whammy working against farmers. Plus, the Spokane Falls are putting on an absolute show right now. I went to Riverfront Park to check it out. I'll let you know just how fast the falls are moving. And get out a pen and a pad of paper. We're sharing the details for tons of weekend events. You won't want to miss the fun this Easter weekend. Good morning, and thank you for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Brandon T. Jones. Over in the Weather Center, we've got Jenny Power. And Jenny, it is looking absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I don't know if you could, script a better weather weekend for this Easter Sunday weekend. How are you doing, and what else can we expect?
Doing great, Brandon. So happy to be here. And yes, I mean, the sunshine has definitely been helping that as well, especially because it's a very busy weekend. Lots of events going on outside, and Mother Nature, she's doing us a treat here with these widespread sunny conditions that we're set to see for the day today. So mostly sunny skies, winds are going to be calm, temperatures trending even a little bit warmer today than yesterday in the upper 50s. And we continue to see this warm up all the way through Easter Sunday and of itself. As we take a look at the other daytime highs region-wide, we're in the mid-60s out towards Chelan, 67 for Omak and Wenatchee this afternoon, 69 for Moses Lake, and even some low to mid-70s south to Walla Walla and into Richland, 63 this afternoon for St. Mary's. To go along with it, we're seeing even calmer and clearer skies, really across the Pacific Northwest for Washington, North Idaho, and they're even into western Montana. So wonderful to get outside if you have any plans. We're still dry into our Easter Sunday, but we are going to be seeing some partly cloudy conditions. Still, though, it's going to be nice with warmer temperatures on the way. Here's a look at your egg hunt forecast for this upcoming Easter Sunday. If, for example, you've got brunch plans, service plans, or you're just taking the kids out to find some Easter eggs, sunshine and 65 degrees. Few clouds here and there, and this warming trend, it even is going to continue for us as we move into our Monday. A look at that, though, in just a few minutes. Brandon?
All right, Jenny, we'll check back in with you in just a few moments. But first, happy Saturday, folks. It is now time for your weekend What's Up. And first up, today is the last day of the Spokane Quilt, Craft, and Sewing Festival. It starts at 10 a.m. at the Spokane County Fair and Expo Center.
When I started quilting, my very first quilt, I still have that quilt today. It has part of my Sunday dresses in it. It has Easter clothes. Every time I look at it, it's got memories of different clothes, some that my brothers and siblings wore. So it's kind of a fun memory quilt.
Well, this is the first year the festival is happening here in Spokane. And the Chase Gallery is hosting a new exhibit. It's a combination of paintings, sculptures, and videos that show the beauty of the deep ocean. And of course, we can't forget it is Easter weekend, so Riverfront Park is doing a massive Easter egg hunt. They're hiding about 20,000 eggs throughout the park, and the Easter Bunny, of course, will obviously be there as well. It's today at 10 a.m. It also is Jazz Appreciation Month, so this afternoon, Music City is doing 4 free jazz concerts. You heard that right, 4 free jazz concerts. They'll be from 1 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. And Spokane Print Fest is today at 2 p.m. The Hive will have live demos, local artists, and prints you can do for yourself. It's all for free. And some sports news now. The Seattle Reign, they're playing the Denver Summit today at One Spokane Stadium. Kickoff is at 5:45 p.m. And sticking with the pitch, there's a new professional soccer rivalry this season. Spokane Velocity FC is playing AC Boise in the City of Trees tonight. This is the first time the two USL League One teams are playing each other in franchise history. KSKN 22 is the spot to watch this soccer match. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. our time. Let's go Spo. Well, this week, Washington farmers say they're not sure how much longer they can stay afloat, caught between rising gas costs and struggling consumers. Right now, a look to the day for a generational farmer. Here's the report from our Seattle sister station.
America runs on diesel, and right now diesel is running high, $6.89, $6.99 at this station right now. I've seen it as high as $7.29 with no end to the spike in sight.
Well, let's go look at horse.
Dave Hedlund calls his grandson Will G5, the fifth generation of family to walk this farm. By necessity, Dave is an optimist. Optimistic Will can take over this farm one day, but the optimism is tempered by darkness these days.
Yeah, for the first time, it's hard to make things work. Spend it like you had it, boys. Ching!
Fueling the concern is the cost of diesel, up 35% since last year. Fertilizer, another 30%.
All these prices that have increased, and the price we're getting for our products is pretty much flat for the last 3 years.
It's a double whammy, triple when you factor in President Trump's tariffs, stalling the engine that runs Hedlund Farms.
I have to be honest, when we've squeaked out a budget this year, we did not anticipate that somebody would start a war in the Mideast and drive fuel and fertilizer prices through the roof.
All this comes amidst a new report that shows Washington dead last in farm profitability in America, the state losing a farm nearly every day to consolidation or foreclosure.
I understand people struggling to pay for food, and at the same time we're struggling, a lot of farmers are struggling to pay for food too, and there's something wrong with that picture. Here, hold my hand, buddy.
For now, Dave Hedlund works to remain optimistic that his 120-year-old farm will live to be passed into the hands of G5.
I'm incredibly proud to be part of the third generation on this family farm, but you don't want to be the one that let it go. Come on, Will, let's find Granny.
A recent survey found just 52% of Washington farmers expecting to turn a profit this year, with that number dropping next year. And of course, all of this trickles down to our dinner tables. In Linwood, Eric Wilkinson, King 5 News.
Well, it's time for a recap of the top stories on KREM.com this week, starting first with this. A 16-year-old is accused of shooting and killing one and injuring another in North Spokane. Onyx Delight faces second-degree murder and first-degree assault charges from the shooting. We've learned more about the victim who was shot and killed. He's been identified as 44-year-old Dylan Bundy Gray. He was a boxer and coach at Spokane Boxing. The gym shares they are feeling the loss of losing one of their own.
Sometimes I'd pop in the middle of the day and he'd be working out with somebody or himself. He was just a big part of our gym and good to everybody. He was the kind of guy that wouldn't allow anybody to fail.
Well, thousands of acres of private lands near Amida are now closed to the public. Idaho Fish and Game says repeated reports of vandalism, illegal activity, and rule violations are to blame. The roughly 8,600 acres were a part of the large tracts program, which allows hunting and fishing access through IDFG. But the property owners say managing the land became increasingly challenging because of unauthorized activities. Now, that land will be divided into two sections to be leased for exclusive access. And more than half of Washington clinicians say they're worried about the mental health risk tied to cannabis use. That's according to a new University of Washington survey. Nearly 20% of doctors in the state say they see cannabis-related health issues in patients 2 to 3 times a month. They say the most common problems include severe vomiting, addiction, anxiety, and even hallucinations. Researchers say most clinicians want more training and better resource to treat these patients. And coming up, an exclusive interview with Gonzaga's president, Katia Passerini. She talks with Nicole Hernandez about her first year on the job. And later, arts and culture for dogs. A look at the museum giving it a try.
stepping into a role of the significance for the university, how has it been? How have you felt?
It's been amazing.
Okay.
A roller coaster of events and things that you have to learn all of a sudden. I've been in higher ed for a long time, but it's always coming to a new institution. You need to learn not only what you see on the website, but how the culture is and how people interact with each other. So that's been a steep learning curve. And then for me, another learning curve has been the Pacific Northwest, which is amazingly beautiful, beyond what I could have imagined.
It is a special place.
It is a special place, yeah.
I mean, coming from sorry, for context, you mentioned you were in Brooklyn before this for a couple of decades,
yes,
right?
so I arrived to the U.S. in 1993. I completed my graduate studies on the East Coast in Washington, D.C., so I was there for about 8 years. Then I went back to Italy, my native country, for a few years working in industry before coming back then permanently, I would say. In 2003, I settled in Brooklyn, New York City, and I worked between New York and New Jersey in different higher ed institutions.
I've been really excited to talk with you because of, I guess, your diverse background, not just in the U.S., but across the world here. Women's History Month is big, and
Yes.
It's a celebration of everything we in prior generations have built for women. Is that something that you see across cultures, across the world, like coming from Italy? Is this something that they struggle with there as well, or is that an us thing?
No, absolutely. And in fact, we have this tradition of, it's not necessarily just the entire month, but there is one day of the month, which is March 8th, and that's Women's Day. And the reason why it's very important in Italy as a tradition, but all over the world. I mean, we recognize that day as International Women's Day. But in Italy, that day, you will receive flowers, that little yellow flower called mimosa, like the drink, but it's not a drink.
okay.
It's a beautiful flower. And it's a gesture of recognition that usually anyone, from your kids to other, colleagues or friends, do for women to celebrate, their day. So it's definitely an international phenomenon, and one that I am very proud that we continue to celebrate.
Yeah, and it's obviously a celebration of the progress we've made.
Yeah.
Do you feel like we're still on the right track, making upward progress?
I think we are. We still have a lot of more progress to do, but if you consider, the times when women didn't have the right to vote, they didn't have the right to establish a business. We have made a tremendous progress. I mean, and look at today, even if I look at just in higher ed, leadership in higher ed has been significantly changing over the years, thanks to the fact that women like to be student-oriented and teach, so those helping profession. So you always find women in those service-oriented areas, and eventually, with time, you have an opportunity to grow into a leadership role. It doesn't happen right away, but I see that change.
Well, spring is here when the Spokane Falls look like this. Why they're hitting peak earlier than usual, that's in just a few minutes. Well, I've got a huge smile on my face right now, and a part of that is because how can you not be happy if you come down here to Riverfront Park? This is peak waterfall season right here at the Spokane Falls. It looks absolutely amazing right now. So many different beautiful views. You've got the suspension bridge over here. You've got Post Street Bridge, which we're standing on, in that blue bridge over there. I don't know if that one has a specific name, but it's a blue bridge, so you can just refer to it as the blue bridge. Lots of beautiful views around here as well. What do you folks think of the falls right now? He said unreal over here. It looks good. From Reno, they get to see the Spokane Falls all the way from Reno. Gotta love that. Have a good day, folks. Take care. But yeah, it's absolutely a sight for you to come out to see. And a couple of notes that the Spokane Riverkeeper actually shared with us as well, or they shared this on their social media pages. This water is flowing so hard right now that it could fill an Olympic-sized pool within 5 seconds. That's how much water is flowing here, and actually is a little bit early this year too. This is about 2 months early compared to the normal peak of the Spokane Falls. So with that in mind, we'll see how much more snow is left on mountains like Mount Spokane, and whether it'll still be enough snowpack to get us through the drier times of the year. But again, great opportunity to come out here and see this for yourself. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful weather. What more can you want? But for now, reporting here in downtown Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Thanks so much for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Jenny Power, and it's time to take a look at your weather forecast and what we're seeing across the inland Northwest. And the good news is that we're trending great if you want to get outside. We'll see mostly sunny skies, mild winds to go along with this, and the start here of some above average temperatures. That's especially what we're seeing come tomorrow. As we take a look region-wide and what we're preparing to see, we're trending in the upper 50s for Spokane today, but we climb to the mid 60s tomorrow. So for your setup today, it is mostly sunny, even a little bit clearer in comparison to what we saw yesterday. Mild winds here to go along with this. And our Sunday, yes, we are going to be seeing a good amount of sunshine, a few more clouds here and there, but in general, great to get outside. As far as our daytime highs today go across the region, 62 is where we're at for Coeur d'Alene. We are trending at 69 for Moses Lake, 67 degrees for Wenatchee, 74 though south to Richland and the Tri-Cities, and we've even got some low 70s through the Yakima Valley and into Walla Walla. As we take a look at your future tracker, we continue to see these mostly clear conditions as we move forward through this evening, overnight tonight, and then we're seeing some partly cloudy skies into tomorrow. So yes, we are going to see a few more clouds develop for our Sunday, but still things are going to be nice to be outside. Our winds as well are going to be relatively mild and calm through that extended forecast, remaining light through our Sunday with just light winds coming out of the northeast for the inland Northwest. As we take a look at your overnight lows, we're falling here into the mid to upper 30s. So we are trending cooler, just something to be aware of there. And as we take a look here at what's to come for tomorrow and your egg hunt forecast, we are going to be seeing temperatures jump up into the mid 60s with those partly sunny skies. So good news if you maybe have any Easter services you want to attend, Easter brunch plans, or you're just trying to get outside with the kids to find some eggs. As we take a look at what's to come over the course of the next few days, temperatures will even climb for us through Monday with daytime highs well above average in the upper 60s for Spokane, and some areas will even reach the low 70s.
All right, still ahead, dogs in a museum. Coming up, how one exhibit is turning heads and wagging tails. All right, Jenny, it's safe to say that people love their dogs.
They definitely do.
You love your dog, right?
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
Exactly.
He's like my child.
Exactly. So, I mean, people love their dogs, and you want to do and take your dog everywhere you can, but some places it feels like you probably kind of have to hold yourself back. Well, this isn't one of those places right here. This is a spot that's a first of its kind. It's a museum where you can bring your dogs.
Oh my gosh. Okay, super cool. That's amazing.
5-year-old Luca is Chief Canine Officer here at the American Kennel Club Museum of the Dog, and he takes his job very seriously.
Luca is the primary greeter when he's here. It's very important to him that every person and dog who come into our space feel personally welcomed by him.
Luca's owner and museum CEO Christopher Bromson says this is the only museum in America where dogs aren't just welcome, they're the star attraction. Here you'll find sculptures, paintings, and electronic exhibits detailing the history of the relationship between man and man's best friend.
What we do here is celebrate the incredible connection between humans and canines that has existed since the beginning of both of our species.
There's even an exhibit on presidential pups, like George H.W. Bush's Millie.
There's something really special about how the love of a dog is captured, either in the way the eyes look or the way the fur is textured.
The exhibits attract dog lovers and dogs from all over the world. Sally Christopher and her pup Cecil made the trip from Virginia.
I was Googling places that he could go into.
But how do you let dogs loose in a museum with priceless exhibits dating back centuries?
If you're paying attention, you notice things are off the floor for the most part. Things are easily cleanable.
Dogs are only allowed in on Furry Fridays and certain special events. For Sally, it's great to find an activity to do with Cecil.
People are obsessed with their dogs, and I think that so many more people would love to be doing experiences with their dogs, like this.
A place where every dog finally has his day. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
All right, Janie, so what do you think? Are you taking Little Prince if you go to New York?
Yes, I think that it would be so cute. And I also wonder if he would have any idea, like the art and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, you know, because obviously it's beautiful art on the walls and everything. But I imagine they don't care too much about that. It's more so for the humans, huh?
And more like, I feel like an Instagram opportunity for the dog owners.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to get it on the gram, you know, why not, right? So, hey, if you got a dog out there, you're interested in going to New York anytime soon, take your pup, go to the dog museum.
Yes,
so
add it to the list.
Well, thank you, Jenny, you know, for hanging out with us, and we appreciate you for watching us this morning. We'll be back here on Up with KREM tomorrow morning.
See you then.